Wow, it is cold and it is windy. It looks like fall's here and winter's not too far behind. So we're here in Mayfield, Kentucky at the Maplewood Cemetery, and we're here to visit the monuments that don't move. And I'll explain about those later, but when it comes to cold weather, where you're from, do you guys have sayings like, I'll keep it PG, like it's colder than a well digger's butt in February? Do y'all have things like that? Or colder than a witch's boob and a brass bra? How about those? Do y'all have those kind of things, or is it just redneck me? I don't know. I grew up hearing that kind of stuff. So put those in the comments. They're always fun. I love to hear it. Shouts out to the members. Don't let me forget, I got sidetracked by the airplane. Sorry about that. So yeah, shouts out to the members. Can't thank you guys enough. Oh, by the way, Kentucky, you guys, if there's one state that if I would leave the great state of Alabama and move to, it would be Kentucky, because it's beautiful here. The towns are just towns, but when you get out into rural Kentucky with the rolling hills and the farmland and all that, man, it really is a hidden gem. It's one of my favorite states to go to. Town-wise, not so much. It's, regular generic towns, but not out in the country. It's a little bit different. So I always forget, I'm pasting this in at the front because I always remember it at the end. If you could put stuff like this, I always do that at these random strange burials, right? Like if you could do monuments like this, what would you do? Deer? Would you do dog? Horse? Yourself? Like, what kind of thing would you like to have in an area like this? I mean, it's a big area to fit this many monuments. It's pretty impressive they were able to wedge all this in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and walk on down there. I brought the drone. I'm gonna put Ghost up and we'll see. I think it'll help us get a better look at all the monuments once we get there. And there's stuff online about it, but it's just the same generic, you go on Wikipedia or whatever other, like Atlas Obscura, I think is one of those kind of places. And it's all about the same, nothing really indifferent. Like there's 18 monuments. Most of them are human, although there is also a horse, 2 dogs, 1 deer, and a fox, which when we get up here, I could have swore one of them, when I was looking at the pictures, looked like a camel. Like, I don't know why. Let me lock the car. All right, ain't nobody here but me, but you never know, right? So they're all looking towards the east, like that way's the east, and staring out across this field of nothing but monuments. I would imagine when they built this a long time ago, it was near as many of these. See, all 18 of these things, like here we go, we're coming up on it now. So I'm gonna try to do a whole bunch of B-roll too, which is gonna help. That way you don't have to look at me, you can look at it. So all 18 are crammed into a 17 by 33 foot plot. And they all, as I said, face the east. They've been the subject of news stories since before Henry was even dead. He made certain that all of the statues were carved and in place before he even died. And they have been featured on postcards since the 20s. At some point early on, they acquired the moniker, the strange possession, which never moves, which I borrowed some of that. Oh, now, hold on. All right, so back from the B-roll. See, looking, if you don't know it's a deer, like, see, the antlers they're broke off, right? Yeah, it's a deer, definitely a deer. Yeah, I thought it was a camel. That shows you how much sense I have. So Colonel Henry Wooldridge, I think that's how we're gonna say it, built all of this over the course of 7 years, and he passed away in May 30th of 1899. The monument commemorates family members and other loved ones that Wooldridge lost over the course of his lifetime. And that's him. You see him standing up high. I'll get us a better shot with the drone. And that piece was made in Italy from, Italian marble. That's what it says so on the sign right there. Whew, this cold, man. I tell you, I ain't getting used to this. It's gonna take a little while to get used to. So you've got Henry, the man, the tallest of the lot right there, right? Let me see, there it is, you can see him. And then it's his mom, Keziah, I think that's how she would have pronounced it, and that's her right there. And then you got the brothers, John, Josiah, and Alfred, which would leave me to be, there's Josiah right there. Alfred in the back. And then there's John right there. And then WF, that's his other brother. The 4 brothers are right there. Okay, so we've got the brothers. And that is, there's Susan. No, whatever her name is. And then you got Minerva, and that says Minnie. Minnie, and then that is Maud right there. So yeah, that's all the people, right? And so local lore or legend is that he left his dad out because he left the family when he was a kid. And another one is that Henry included only those relatives who were already dead, and that because he supplied no visual references to the sculptors, they had to make their best guesses as to what the person they were sculpting looked like. Viewing the nearly identical stone-faced statues of Henry's brothers, that story is easily to believe because they just all look the same. So the horse that you see back there, that's named Fop, plus his mothers and brothers, as well as the other creatures, great and small, who had been close to his heart. Like even his childhood sweetheart from when he was little, or it could have been his great niece, depending on which legend you want to follow. It may look like a small, very private cemetery within a larger cemetery, but he's the only one actually here. Like Henry, like he's the only guy. Like out of all these people, he's the only guy that's buried here. Like you would think this would be full of people, but nope. He's the only one that's actually buried on this site, which is very interesting that he poured all this into it. And if you do look at the stones, like the sculptors kind of didn't have a lot to work with, considering they didn't know anything about the family at all. They all do look alike. Like they have like the same kind of hair, and it's very cut and it just looks like copy and paste if you could do it with stone. The other thing that I noticed was they didn't miss out. I do love some good dog nuts. Like that's impressive. I mean, don't miss any detail. You know, the deer didn't get it, even though maybe that's a doe. So it's, I guess the ears are missing, not the horns. But hey, you gotta love some attention to detail. Can't miss nothing, right? So it's been a while since I feel like I've done a good strange type of grave, and I feel like this qualifies as one of the stranger ones. You know, we try to go to the ones buried in something different, or just like the rocking chair or in the car or something like that. But this one's got just full of monuments. Like he put his whole life savings into it, which is amazing. Like those people meant that much that he was willing to give everything he had to show them in death also. Yeah, the fox, like, the gate is locked too, by the way. I don't blame them, I would lock it too, to keep people like me out. See it? Hold on. Did they attention to detail? They sure did. That's what I said. I'm sorry, I'm a 12-year-old boy at heart. And on top, I don't know, you could see this piece on top has to have been newer. Like I'm sure there's been storm damage. Like this whole area that I just drove through to get in here looks like I know we were just in Amory not too long ago with a tornado, And this looks like within a year or so, a tornadoes came through here. But on top, you can see there's a, I'm gonna call it a shotgun. That's what it looks like to me. Could be a rifle, but I'm going shotgun, double barrel. Looks like one on top of the other kind of thing. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys for watching. It's getting colder. Like I said in those last videos, the next couple of months, I don't know if we'll have one every week. I still appreciate you guys watching. It's been one crazy year. It's been a crazy couple of years doing this thing. The comments, the suggestions, all of that stuff doesn't fall on deaf ears. Like, that's why I heart every time I read comments, good or bad. I mean, some of them, if they catch me in the wrong mood, I'm like, yeah, this guy's got to go. We don't, I don't feel like hearing whatever today. But most of the time, I'm open for all of that. I take the criticism well, just as good as the appreciation. And if not, sometimes the criticism is not really criticism. It's a, hey, why don't you do this, or why didn't you do that? And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea. I probably should have done it that way. And just imagine how heavy that stone had to have been to be moved. So it had to, whatever came through here had to be a serious nader. But yeah, I drove up. This is just me rambling. So if you guys are still here, cool. If not, I totally get it. So I took the long way here today. I drove up through like West Tennessee and then went over into Missouri and then like through Cairo, like Illinois, and then back down this way. I just wanted to see some different country for once. And that poor town, I thought, you know, that like during the Civil War, that's where the Union built their gunboats and all that. And I knew it had fell on hard times, but man, it was rough. Like, it needs a surge of something. I don't know what, maybe the town's just dead in general, but it did not look good. So I just rambled for like 10 minutes and definitely not going to keep that in because it ain't even worth listening to. So I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And you never know what you're going to find on the back roads. It's over there somewhere. I've walked away from it. It's through the trees because I'm a professional YouTuber, right?